The three key things in our business is you have the right ingredients, suppliers, the knowledge, you have to have the knowledge. And then also, if you're passionate, you're always going to operate on a different level than someone that is, yes, I like what I'm doing, but passion is much higher. People that are passionate are people that are obsessed with what they do.
Today we're visiting Bernard Callebaut. You can see them behind me. We've met the gentleman this morning. It's just an awesome, fantastic story. If you get Bernard talking about chocolate, you can see his eyes light up. You can see him getting enthusiastic, and it's just awesome to be around a person that's so genuine, so authentic. Come with us. This is going to be a really good one.
When you go high end, you always reinvent yourself. I get the comment often from people and they say, you lost your business. It's a shame you lost the recipes. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I always say the same like a chef that's passionate in his kitchen. If you take his menu and you put the light on it and it burns it up, he's gonna say, great, I can create a new menu. The same for us. You're in a creative business, you want to make new things, you want to make it better. What I like, what is great, and I use much less sugar in my fillings too with my new company. I don't use any corn syrup. Here I meet a lot of people and I can communicate to them. I let them try my product because ultimately, if you do a quality product, the best advertising is give people a sample. I grew up in Belgium. I'm born about 20 meters short of a chocolate factory. The factory was our playground since we are kids, so it has been part of my life since I'm very little. I want to do something on my own, but I want to do it in another country. So I was interested in different countries, traveled around. I settled here because I wanted to be close to the mountains. It's a little bit of an adventure. You really don't know what you're doing. You know, I never had run my own business. When I did my travel, like I went first to Eastern Canada and visited different cities and then came west, I always brought samples with me and I let people try what you know, this is a different type of chocolate, more a high-end chocolate, gourmet chocolate. And it was not very popular like about 33 years ago, but the reaction of the public was very, very positive. And I said, like, you know what? It seems that people like good quality chocolate. And that's basically it. That was my decision. Let's go, let's get going. The first year we did $200,000. And then the year after, we doubled that number. So I said, oh my goodness, this is not bad. Chocolate has changed a lot. Like when I came here, chocolate was a candy bar that you pick up at the grocery store when you pay your bill. What is in generally very, very sweet, very sugar loaded. It's cheap because it's loaded with sugar. Sugar is a very cheap commodity. And then ultimately, chocolate went through the same phenomena that coffee went through. 30 years ago, coffee was hot brown water. You pay 25 cents at the gas station for your coffee, and that's it. Now people pay $4 or more for a coffee. And chocolate goes through the same thing. Chocolate has changed from being a very simple candy product to a more sophisticated chocolate. Cooler climates are better for chocolate. If you look to the consumption of chocolate, countries like that are more in cooler climates consume more chocolate. If I say it's a strawberry chocolate, I use real strawberries and organic cream. That's all what is in there. There's no sugar added to it. When the ingredient list is long, always be worried. If it's very short and it's readable, you're already a step ahead. It's amazing in the food industry. If you eliminate all products that contain corn syrup, sugar and vegetable fat, there's not too much left over on the shelf. There's two basic techniques to make chocolate. You can mold them or you can enrobe them. So what you do in a molded chocolate is you use a mold, you make a chocolate shell, then you put the filling in it, close it off, 3 steps, and then your product is done. In an enrobed one, you do it a little bit differently. You make first the filling, and then you dip it in chocolate. These are all the cavities, you fill them up. And then chocolate is a thick fluid. You see it's very thick. The density is 20% more than water. So you have a lot of air bubbles in it. So what you do is you simply let them sit on the vibration table to get the bubbles out. See, they are out now. And then the next step is you're gonna flip the mold upside down to make the shell. And the more you vibrate it, now this is done by hand, but use the vibration table too. So so it goes faster. And you cannot do it too much because otherwise your shell can be too thin. And the chocolate is still liquid. If you leave it like this, the bottom gonna be too thick, the side's too thin. So you let the chocolate harden upside down. So we put it like here, like this, and you let it sit. If you serve the same glass of wine in a plastic cup or you serve it in a beautiful glass, it makes a difference. You eat with your eyes too. When you make very good quality food, high-end, if you base it on flavor and on quality, the best way to promote your product is give people a sample. That will convince people this is different from what I buy in the grocery store. It takes about 2-3 minutes before the chocolate hardens. Room temperature is very important. You need about 18 degrees. If it's too cold, your chocolate will thicken up very quickly. If it's too warm, it will not set. Here, this one, the chocolate is already stiffening up, it changes color. So that means the chocolate is tempered properly. That's a very good sign. And then basically we scrape the excess chocolate off. And now we can put it in the cooler. Chocolate, when it's prepared properly, it shrinks 9%. And if you look afterwards, see the shell comes out.
Perfect.
Step 2 is you put the filling in it. See, that's our homemade caramel. That's the one that we do with the heavy cream, the cane sugar and the butter. Normally, like this caramel, I always add a certain amount of chocolate to it. There you go, 10% chocolate. Chocolate is actually great. It gives a little bit more consistency to the caramel. It is pink Hawaiian salt, so we take a little pinch. If you're not used to do it, always make a small hole and make it bigger and bigger and bigger. Don't make a big hole, cannot make it smaller and smaller.
It's all about technique, practice, practice, practice.
Once you do 1 million of them, you're good. That's step 2. Normally we put it in the fridge that you get some consistency, but you know that it's quite hard. We can do it like this, and then we can eat it. So if you give us 4 minutes, we will do that. So this one is one that I entered in a competition in London, England.
So some people think that milk chocolate is just weaker chocolate, but that's not the case.
No, it's not. I'll tell you what happens with milk chocolate in general. When you look to the label, for milk chocolate, sugar is the first ingredient on the list. Sugar, milk powder, cocoa butter, or reverse. Our milk chocolate we use here, sugar is the 3rd ingredient on the list. A lot of people don't understand what the cocoa content is in a chocolate bar. When they see in the grocery store and it says 70%, people say like, well, I mean, 70% they all taste the same. No, they don't, because the composition of the cocoa content is a combination of 3. Let's say 60% of the unsweetened chocolate, 10% of cocoa powder. This chocolate will be very bitter and dry. Now we do another recipe. We do 60% cocoa liquor and add 10% cocoa butter. Totally different. This one is gonna be not bitter, very smooth, and it will melt in your mouth because ultimately there's a lot of cocoa butter in it. They use the name couverture. That's minimum 32% cocoa butter, but in really good chocolate, you go way higher than that. Our chocolates, give it a little twist. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Look at that.
And of course, when you are in the chocolate business or in the food business, you have to do quality control. If you don't do it, you're fired.
Well, let's shake on that. Let's clink on that. That's how you clink. We got it. That's a nice butter caramel. And the dark chocolate makes it really good. I loved it in the store. I'm liking it here as well. Wonderful.
Because you always learn. Learning never stops. It's an ongoing process, and I love to learn about chocolate.
You too can become part of this journey. Come help us. Let's celebrate these businesses together. Donate to our site, www.forwardthefavor.com, and we will bring you more of these exciting programs.